Good evening and welcome to WNBA Trending. I'm Ava, and tonight we take a closer look at one of the most fascinating stories surrounding Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever rookie who has already redefined the conversation around women's basketball. The spotlight has followed her since her NCAA days at Iowa, but now in the WNBA, every comment, every performance, and every interaction she has with fellow players becomes a headline. The most recent example involves a WNBA champion who, after praising Clark, hesitated on the idea of partnering with her just 40 seconds later. That hesitation has sparked a firestorm of debate, revealing just how much Clark's rise has shifted the balance of attention and opportunity in the league. Tonight, we explore the moment, the meaning behind it, and the broader implications for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark has been no stranger to the spotlight. Even before her WNBA debut, she was breaking viewership records in college basketball. Her games at Iowa drew massive national audiences, selling out arenas and drawing comparisons to some of the most influential players the sport has ever seen. By the time she declared for the WNBA draft, anticipation had reached a fever pitch. The Indiana Fever selected her with the number 1 overall pick, and from day one she was expected not only to deliver on the court, but to change the trajectory of the entire league. That is an enormous burden to place on a rookie, yet Clark has handled it with a calm that belies her age. She has been competitive, resilient, and above all, marketable in ways the league has rarely seen. That marketability is at the heart of the story we're discussing tonight. A WNBA champion, celebrated for her leadership and impact, was asked in an interview about Caitlin Clark. She responded with warmth and respect. She highlighted Clark's composure, her ability to take over games, and her resilience in the face of constant scrutiny. She acknowledged that the rookie has brought a wave of excitement to the league, attracting fans who might never have watched a WNBA game before. It was a statement that showed respect for Clark's ability to elevate not just her team, but the league as a whole. Then the tone shifted. The interviewer pressed further, asking whether she would ever consider collaborating with Caitlin Clark on a project, whether a brand deal, a joint appearance, or even a more personal partnership. That's when the hesitation entered. After just 40 seconds of praise, the champion paused. Her response was careful, measured, and not the immediate yes that many might have expected. Instead, she explained that while she respected Clark and acknowledged her impact, she wasn't sure if joining forces at this moment was the right move. She spoke about Clark carving her own path and herself focusing on her own journey. It was neither rejection nor criticism, but it was hesitation. Why does that matter? Because in the current media environment, every gesture around Caitlin Clark becomes amplified. A simple pause becomes a headline. A cautious answer becomes speculation. Some fans took the hesitation as a sign of jealousy, while others saw it as a sign of independence, proof that not every established star wants to attach herself to the Clark phenomenon. Social media reactions exploded almost immediately. On Twitter, one user said, "Why wouldn't you want to team up with Caitlin Clark? She's the biggest name in sports right now." Another countered with, "Not everyone needs to ride Caitlin's wave. Respect to the champ for standing firm on her own brand." The conversation revealed something deeper about the state of the WNBA. For years, the league has fought for attention, sponsorships, and recognition. Now, with Clark commanding massive viewership, that attention is finally arriving, but disproportionately centered on one player. For veterans who have worked tirelessly to build the league before her, this sudden shift can be both thrilling and complicated. Partnering with Clark could bring massive exposure, but it could also mean being overshadowed. That balance of opportunity and individuality is tricky, especially in a league where every player's brand matters more than ever. It's also important to understand that hesitation does not mean animosity. The champion's comments came across as thoughtful rather than dismissive. It was clear that she respected Clark's journey, but simply wanted to maintain her own lane. Timing matters in business and branding, and perhaps now is not the right moment for collaboration. By keeping some distance, she ensures that her identity remains distinct from the Clark narrative. That is a perfectly reasonable stance, though one that becomes magnified in today's sports culture. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark herself has remained silent on the matter. She has shown no interest in wading into media controversies, choosing instead to focus on basketball. Her poise in the face of constant scrutiny has been one of her most impressive traits. Every game she plays, she proves that she belongs among the elite. Every night, she takes on veterans and future Hall of Famers, showing that she is not intimidated by the spotlight. Her approach to situations like this demonstrates maturity and focus, qualities that will only strengthen her career in the long run. The broader takeaway here is not about one champion's hesitation, but about the growing pains of a league in transition. The WNBA has entered a new era where media attention, sponsorship dollars, and fan engagement are increasing rapidly. Caitlin Clark is at the center of that surge, but she is not alone. Players like Aya Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Diana Taurasi continue to define excellence in the sport. The challenge lies in balancing the excitement of new stars with the legacy and presence of established champions. That tension is natural and perhaps even healthy for a league still carving its place in mainstream sports culture. The hesitation also points to a reality of professional sports. Collaboration is not always automatic. Just because two stars are great doesn't mean they will always join forces. Sometimes, individuality matters more. Sometimes, protecting one's brand requires caution. And sometimes, as in this case, a pause is simply about timing. That does not diminish Clark's impact, nor does it tarnish the champion's reputation. Instead, it highlights the complexity of fame in today's world of sports. Looking forward, it will be fascinating to see how Caitlin Clark continues to reshape the WNBA. With every game, every endorsement, and every storyline, she is pulling the league into new territory. Whether collaborations happen now or later, the fact remains, she has already forced the conversation to evolve. Veterans, rookies, fans, and sponsors all have to navigate this new landscape, and moments of hesitation are simply part of the adjustment. In closing, what happened this week was not a rejection of Caitlin Clark, but a reflection of the league's shifting dynamics. The WNBA is bigger, brighter, and more scrutinized than ever before, thanks in large part to Clark's arrival. The hesitation we saw was not a dismissal, but rather an acknowledgement that timing and individuality matter. For Clark, the focus remains on basketball. For the champion, the focus remains on her own journey. And for the league, the story is just beginning. This has been WNBA Trending. I'm Ava, and we'll continue to follow the impact of Caitlin Clark and the evolving storylines of the WNBA. Stay tuned for more updates, and thank you for watching.